Hello, my name is Jessica, and today I will be presenting the solution I've developed for a to-do list application. This is the capstone project for the .NET Upskill internship, and this project includes both a web API and a web application with user authentication and task management features. The purpose of this application is to provide users with a platform to manage their tasks efficiently. And in this application, users can create to-do list, add tasks to that to-do list, assign tags, and also collaborate through comments. Um, the application is designed for different roles with varying levels of access and control. That is why the primary users are individuals or teams who need to organize tasks, track progress, and collaborate on projects. The major features of this application are a couple, so I'm going to mention the ones that are the most important, and we have user authentication and roles-based access. As I said before, we're going to have a secure login and registration. This is going to be managed with ASP.NET Core Identity, and it's going to allow us to users to securely log in and to select the role of user, owner, editor, and viewer, and each which with a specific permissions. We also have the to-do list management that it's going to allow us to create, edit, and delete. This is basically for the owners, but the other roles also have some management in this to-do list. And also functionality that is important is that list can also be assigned and reassigned to another users. Other major feature that we have is the task management. This is basically to create and assign task mainly for the users and owners. And we also have the functionality of sort and filter, and it's going to help us to filter tasks by the criteria such as status, due date, and also title. We also have a tagging system that it's going to help us to add and manage tags. This is mainly to categorize tasks with tags and to add some more organization and quick filtering. Also, there is a commenting system that it's basically for users and owners to add, and basically the owners can edit and delete the comments on the task. Also, I implemented an overdue task notification that is going to be basically going to highlight the tasks that are in overdue and with status different than completed. And also, I try to develop a responsive user interface with a friendly design so that the user can access through the application very intuitively. And we also have the search and filtering that is for the task search, that it's going to help us to quickly find tasks by title or description with some advanced filtering options. Now let's see an overview of the sitemap. This is the sitemap. We have the sign up page and the sign in page. And then after we sign in, we are going to have this menu in which we have several options that we are going to be seeing in detail in the demo demonstration. So basically we have the list of to-do list, and inside this we are going to list all the tasks assigned to that to-do list, and then in both parts we can manage these features. Also, we can see the details of a task, and in the detail page, we can add a tag or add comments, also edit them. And we also have another one that it's assigned tasks. The assigned tasks that it's going to show us all the assigned tasks assigned to me. It doesn't matter if they are from different to-do list. And also, I have developed this button that it's going to lead us to the list of all tags. When we write a new tag, this is going to be shown in the database. So after we create a new tag, it's going to be shown here. And when we click on that button of that tag, we're going to be seeing all the tasks of that were assigned with that tag. And we also have a search page that is going to help us to search the list basically by title so that we can see and quickly find them. Now let's start with a demo video of the user stories. I'm going to start with the first one, that is the sign up. So I'm going to go here. I already have the application started, but this is the home page. And here in the layout, we're going to have two buttons. We're going to click here in the register button to register. So I'm going to add this new user, and I'm going to call it Milo. And then here, if I try the lead name, all the fields are going to be required and with a specific format. So for example, I'm gonna write all of this and I'm going to select the user. So for example, I want this Milo user to be an owner. So I click here owner and then I click here in register. After I register the user, we're going to be redirected to this login page. So maybe I forgot my password. So what I'm going to do is to write my email, and I wasn't able to implement all the connect with the authenticated server like Google or other, but here we can change the password. Now I'm not going to do that again, but it's possible. So let's go with the next user story, that is to sign in. So I'm going to go here in the login button and I'm going to write the email that I already wrote. Here, if I click in the button of remember me, it's going to keep my session up. I'm not going to do that because we are going to be doing some examples. So I'm going to click here in the login and we are redirected this to the list app menu. Now here we have all the features that I already mentioned in the sitemap. So let's go with the other user story, that is to sign out. For that, I'm going to click here in the logout button and it's going to redirect me to the home page. So I'm going to log in again. Okay, we are logged in again. And I already showed the restore password. So let's go with the next because I already showed the application menu. Okay, so the next user story implemented is the epic one. Let's start with view a list of my to-do list. What I'm going to do is to log in with a different user, because if I click here, like this is new user, this one doesn't have to-do list or to-do task assigned. So I'm going to log in with user that I already create in the database some to-do list. So let's go with the user story one, that it's view a list of my to-do list. So when we click here, we can see that this user has assigned or created this to-do list. And let's go with the next one. We can add a new to-do list. So what I'm going to do is to click here in the button of create a new to-do list. and I'm gonna do and click here in the button of create, and we have here the to-do list. Now, maybe I don't want to create a to-do list, but I'm already here in the page. I just click here in the button of cancel, and that's it. Then we can delete a to-do list. This is for the owner. So as we are in the owner user, we are going to click here in the button of delete. Maybe we don't want to, so we click here and cancel. But if we want, it's going to ask us if we are sure to delete that list. And I'm going to click here and delete, and it doesn't appear here anymore because it's already deleted. Let's go to the next one, that it's to edit a to-do list. So, okay, maybe this to-do list I don't want to be assigned to me. So I'm going to click here in edit, and I'm going to change the name, for example, to update it. And I'm going to assign this to Milo. That is because in the end, I'm going to show that this functionality is worked. So I'm going to click here and save, and we don't have any to-do list because the one that I had was assigned to Milo. So I'm going to create a new one. And we have it here. Let's go with the next user story. The next user story is that as an owner, I can view the task in a to-do list. So I'm gonna click here in details, and we have this text that it's telling us that no task available for this list. Why? Because it's brand new. I recently created it. So let's go with the other, the user story 7, that it's to add a new to-do task. So I'm going to click here in the button of create task. And I'm going to set the due date for the 2nd. And the dates before the current date are not available. So let's choose here, create. Also the cancel button, its usage is the same as the one as before. So here we can see that after we create a new task, the status is automatically set in not started. Now let's go with the other, that it's to view task detail page. So I'm going to go here and click here in details. And here we can see the details of the task, that is the title, the description, the due date that I set, and the status. The next one is to delete a task. We're going to first do this one, that is to edit a to-do task. So what I'm going to do is to go back here and click here in the button of edit. And I'm going to set the due date for today, for example. So I click here in save, and we have the due date change. We can also change the title, the description, anything that we want. And then we can see here the user story 10, that is to highlight an overdue task. And this is shown here. This red light, or this red background, is showing us that this that this task is overdue. Why? Because this status is not started. Now, if I change the status, for example here, and I set the status to completed, that light is not going to be shown anymore. So I don't want to do that. So let's go back. Let's go with the next, that it's to see all the view a list of tasks assigned to me. So back to the menu, and we have here the button of assign task. So we have all the tasks assigned to me. As we see, we have here the add new task, that is the one that we created the other time. But we also have all the tasks assigned to me right now. So for example, here we have the task that we created recently is with not started, but let's go with the next user story. That it's a filtered task in my assigned task list. This is shown here. We have these filters. Maybe we want to see all the tasks that are not started. So we click here and we're going to see these ones. Maybe we want to see the ones that are in progress. Maybe we want to see all the to-do tasks. And maybe we want to search for a specific task, maybe finalize. And we have it here. Also, we can sort this by title, ascending or descending, by due date, or by status. Now, if we can also change the status of a task, we go here and maybe the one that I created, for example, this one, a new task, we want to change the status so that we don't see that overdue alert anymore. So we click here and change status and we mark it as completed. And as we can see, it was already marked as completed. Why? Because I already changed the status to completed and the red light doesn't appear anymore. Let's go with the next user story, that it's to search task with a specific text in the task title. So for that, I'm going to search, for example, this one, organize. So I'm going to go back to the menu and click here in the search by title. So I'm going to put the organize and click here in search. And here we have our task. We can also click here to view the details and go back. Okay, let's go with the next one. This one is already covered. We can see that it's highlighted here. And sorry. Let's see the next one, that is tagging task. So we can see a view. We can view a list of tags in the task detail page. So when we are here, for example, let's go to this one. I'm sorry. We can go here and we can go to the details, this to-do list. And maybe I want to see here in details. I don't have any tags added here because I haven't had any. This task is brand new. So what I'm going to do is to cover all of these user stories. So first we are going to add a tag. And I'm going to do this, for example, task. And here we have the tag. The next one is to view a list of all tags that is already shown. And we can also remove a tag. So when maybe we want to add another tag like that, but maybe we don't want this anymore. So we click here in the remove button and that's it. Now let's see a view of all tags. So I'm gonna click here on menu and I'm gonna click here in view all tags. And here I can see a list of all tags. As you can see, here's the tag that I created as tag, task, and another tag. The next one is commenting task, and in which we can see view comments on a task detail page. So if we go back here, maybe I want to add a comment. So I'm going to click here in details and add a comment. And click here in the button. And there we have the comment. We also, well, can edit a new comment. So we click here and we can change this to updated, and we have the updated comment. And we also have delete a comment that was added to a task. So maybe I don't want this comment anymore, so I'm just click here and delete, and we don't see it anymore. Now let's go with the next part, that it's basically our solution architecture. That was the functionality of the task details. And for example, for the other users, let's see, for example, a user that I already register, we're going to see that the main differences is that the user can only see the details and change the status and see the details of the task. Here we have a comment and a tag. This user is not allowed to edit or delete. So that's basically the main difference with the owner. And we also have the editor. The editor is, for example, we can only see here the details, and it's only going to have the action of details. So it's only going to be allowed to add tags, delete or remove them, or add or delete comments. No other functionality like edit or change status, only the comment and the tag section. And we also have the viewer. And the viewer, it's basically going to only be able to see. He cannot add tags or add or delete comments. He's going to be only seeing like everything of the information, but he can manage anything. Okay, now let's talk about the solution architecture. This application is built using the ASP.NET Core framework, and it consists of three main components. That is the API, the web application using MVC, and also two databases. And we have one for the users and one for the Todolist. Let's start with the description of the solution that I created. I first created a class library to storage all the entities, and in here I created a folder of entities in which I created all the entities like comment, tag, list, and task, and also models. These models, we have some aux model. These are going to be used, for example, when we are filling a create task. Maybe some data is set automatically. So that's why the aux models are used for, because these are going to help us to get the main information and then transform it to the other model, like for example, the comment model. So that contains, for example, the user that created that comment. And that is information that it's very important for the database management. This is an example of an entity. This is an example of a task entity that I created. Here we have the database generated to create an automatically user, an ID. And we have here all the properties and the getters and setters that are corresponding. Here, the name of the table. And this is for all the entities that I created. And for the model is basically the same. Then we have the API. The API serves as the backbone of the application, handling all the backend logic. It manages the CRUD operation for the key entities such as tasks, comment tags, and users. And this API is designed to be RESTful, ensuring that the data can be easily accessed and managed across different parts of the application. This, by centralizing the business logic layer here, we maintain a clean separation between the client side and the server side responsibilities, and changing scalability and maintainability. We have here some of the folders that I created that were created. Let's start with the data. In the data, we're going to define our DB context and also all the interfaces and the services of this API. And then we are going to have also the controllers here and also the migration for the database management. We also have here an example of an interface that I defined. This is also for the task. In this one, we're going to define the contract that is going to be set in the service. Here is a fragment of the service that I created for the task. And also here is a example of a controller that I created. Here we can see the verb, the HTTP GET, and also like the requirements. For example, this requires the list and the list ID. And with dependency injection, we're going to be using all of these interfaces here for better management. Then we have the web application that is the front end of our application, and it's powered by ASP.NET Core MVC, which interacts with the API to deliver a responsive and user-friendly interface. This MVC, the Model View Controller pattern, it's employed to organize the application, ensuring a clear separation of concerns. The views render the data to user. The controllers handle the user inputs and interactions, and models define the structure of the data passed between the view and the controller. That is why in the entities were defined some auxiliary models to help us capture that information. And this setup allows us to a seamless user experience where user actions on the web app are efficiently communicated to the API, then processed, and finally displayed back to the user. Here we have, for example, the controllers, data, migration, model, services, view models, views, and most of the features that were developed here in the API, but and with the MVC pattern. And this is, for example, an implementation of our DB context using identity. This is for the part of authentication and the login and register of the users. We also have here an interface for managing the Todolist via the web API. And this is for the list, an example. And this is also an example of that interface applied to a service. For example, this is a task, and we have here the implementation of our service. It's important to say that we have here the HTTP client and the iConfiguration. This is for all the API communication in which we're going to define our base URL, basically to define like the port and all of that for the API. And here we have an example of one service. Then we have an example of this controller in which we are defining some structures, some controllers. And here we have an important thing that is the roles for authorization. Here we use this line to give a controller an authorization. For example, to this controller, the only roles that are going to be having access to it are the owner, the editor, and the viewer. And that is for the implementation of all the roles. I also implement some view models basically for the account management and also some views. These were designed in Razor and configured here in the views import and the view start. And we have different views because we have a lot of pages to create, delete, cancel, to show. So these were organized here. We have the account, the comment, the share, the tag, the list, and the task. And this is a very small example of a view that I developed. This is, for example, create task. So this is the view, and this is the Razor code. Well, the view. And we also have the databases. We use Entity Framework Core to manage our database operation, providing a object relational mapping solution that simplifies the data access. The application features distinct DB context. There were two, one for user management handled by ASP.NET Core Identity, the one that is here, and another one for the task-related data. This separation ensures that users' data and the application data are managed independently, but can also interact when necessary. Also, the use of Entity Framework Core allows us to work with a strongly typed data model while maintaining flexibility and control over the database schema. There were only two requirements that were not able to implement, and the one is the barrier token authentication. Due time this wasn't implemented, and also the email. I wasn't able to connect it with a verified service like Google, but I was able to implement the restore password. I only missed that part. And in conclusion, I can say that this project has been a fantastic opportunity to apply all the concepts and skills that I've learned through this course in this internship. And I've been able to create a fully functional task management application that caters the different user roles with the specific functionalities and specific actions to make. And I can also say that building this application allowed me to delve deeper into ASP.NET Core, into web development, and also the user experience design. I'm very proud of what I accomplished, and I'm very excited about how these skills can be applied to future projects. So I can say that this experience has been invaluable, and it helped me to reinforce all the concepts and demonstrate that all of them come together in practical, real-world scenario and projects. And this is going to be very useful for me when I start to work with clients and etc. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I have learned a lot, and well, that's it. Thank you so much.